Hello students, let me take the privilege of starting this video with a famous quote by Mahatma Gandhi. It is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver. If we do not have any disease, can we call ourselves healthy? Say for instance, a person is not exhibiting any physical illness but not in a mental state to work. Can we call that person healthy? No, right? The state of mind influences the immune system that maintains our health. Therefore, emotional and mental well-being are very important in maintaining good health. Let's try to define health. Health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. When people are healthy, they will be efficient at work. When people are efficient, productivity will increase and that will bring economic prosperity. Health will increase the lifespan of a person as well. There are mainly three things that affect health: genetic disorders, infections and lifestyle. A balanced diet, regular exercise and personal hygiene are very important in maintaining good health. When all the organs in our body function properly, we are 100% productive. However, when an organ or an organ system is adversely affected, then our body will express its problems through some symptoms. Accordingly, we can say that we have some kind of disease. Diseases are mainly classified into two: infectious diseases and non-infectious diseases. Infectious diseases are those that are transmitted from one person to another. Examples are flu and AIDS. Example of non-infectious disease is cancer. Let's discuss about some common diseases that affect human beings. Diseases that affect human beings are mainly caused by a variety of organisms like bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoans, helminths, etc. They are commonly called as pathogens. Pathogens enter our body through various means like food, water, air, etc. After they enter the host body, they will adapt themselves to the internal environment. For example, the pathogens that enter the gut will adapt themselves to the pH of the stomach and they should resist the digestive enzymes. Otherwise, they will perish. Let's discuss about the common diseases in human beings that are caused by different group of pathogenic organisms. First, let's learn about the typhoid fever. The causative organism of typhoid fever is a bacterium called Salmonella typhi. Most of Salmonella infections result from the ingestion of contaminated food and water. Along with the food, they reach the intestinal tract and multiply there and are excreted through stool. Through the bloodstream, they reach different organs like the liver, spleen, etc. So, typhoid fever affects liver and spleen. Let's look into the symptoms of typhoid fever. High fever, weakness, stomach pain, constipation, headache and loss of appetite. These are some common symptoms of typhoid fever. Typhoid fever can be confirmed by Vidal test. Antibiotics are prescribed by the doctors to cure typhoid fever. Typhoid can be prevented by proper sewage treatment, filtration and chlorination of water. Now let's discuss about pneumonia. There are bacterial, viral and fungal pneumonia. Bacterial pneumonia is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. These bacteria enter the human body through the inhalation of droplets released by an infected person. Even sharing glasses and utensils with an infected person leads to infection. They infect the alveoli of the lungs. Alveoli are small air-filled sacs where the oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange takes place during the process of respiration. As a result of infection, the alveoli get filled with fluid, leading to severe problems in respiration. In the picture you can see a pair of lungs, and these are the bronchi, and this is the alveoli, and here you can see the alveoli is filled with fluid. This will lead to severe problems with respiration. Now let's see the symptoms of pneumonia. Fever, chills, cough, headache, lips and fingernails may turn grey to bluish. In some cases, however, the illness may become very severe and it is sometimes fatal, particularly in elderly people and young children. Antibiotics are prescribed by doctors to cure pneumonia. Viruses that infect the upper respiratory tract may also cause pneumonia. We are all aware of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, and the influenza virus are the most common cause of viral pneumonia in adults. Vaccines has been developed to prevent serious pneumonia. Let's discuss about common cold. Rhinoviruses are the most frequent causative agents of common cold. They are a group of viruses. Transmission of the disease is through air. When a healthy person inhales the droplets resulting from the cough and sneeze of an infected person, he or she will get the infection. Other than inhalation, viruses can enter our body by touching contaminated objects such as pen, books, cups, doorknobs, keyboard, mouse, etc. They affect the nose and respiratory passages, but not the lungs. Let's see what all are the symptoms of common cold. Nasal congestion and discharge, sore throat, hoarseness means a change in voice, cough, headache and tiredness. These symptoms last for about 3 to 7 days. The viruses start spreading from an infected person before the symptoms appear, and the spread reaches its peak during the symptomatic phase. There is no cure for common cold. Most cases of common cold get better without treatment. Taking rest and keeping the patient hydrated will help in speedy recovery. As the viruses can enter our bodies by touching contaminated objects, washing hands may help to prevent the spread of common cold. Malaria. Malaria is caused by a protozoan. Let's understand more about protozoans. Are you familiar with the term parasite? A parasite is defined as an animal or plant which lives in or upon another organism and draws its nutrients directly. Protozoans are single-celled parasites. Most protozoan causes diseases in humans and are microscopic. Plasmodium is a tiny protozoan that is responsible for malaria. Different species of Plasmodium are responsible for malaria, like Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae and Plasmodium falciparum. Among these, Plasmodium falciparum causes the most serious form of malaria, and almost all malarial deaths are caused by Plasmodium falciparum. Humans get the infection by the bite of female Anopheles mosquito. It affects the liver and red blood cells. Let's take a look at the life cycle of Plasmodium falciparum. Malarial parasites require 2 hosts to complete their life cycle, a human and a mosquito. Mainly, there are 3 stages in the life cycle of Plasmodium falciparum: sporozoid, merozoid and gametocyte. Let's discuss about these stages in detail. First, let's see what happens when the host mosquito bites a human. During bite, mosquitoes inject sporozoids, which is the infectious form, along with the saliva into the blood vessels. the mosquitoes inject sporozoites. These sporozoites are carried rapidly into the liver by the bloodstream. Inside the liver cells, these are the liver cells, inside the liver cells, these sporozoites undergo asexual reproduction and form the next stage called the merozoites. Then the enlarged liver cells rupture and release thousands of merozoites into the blood. When they are in blood, they will attack the red blood cells. As a result, the RBCs rupture and release a toxic substance called hemozoin. This hemozoin is responsible for the chills and high fever recurring every 3 to 4 days. Inside the RBCs, the merozoites further develop and reproduce to form male microgametes and female macrogametes. They are the gametocytes. Male microgamete and female macrogamete. Gametocytes are the sexual stages of the parasite and are infectious for mosquitoes. These gametocytes develop in the RBCs of the blood vessels of internal organs, but the mature gametocytes are found only in peripheral blood. When a female Anopheles mosquito bites an infected person, these gametocytes enter the mosquito's body. Now both the male microgamete and the female macrogamete reach the stomach of the mosquito. Inside the stomach of the mosquito, the parasite undergoes sexual reproduction and produces sporozoites. And from there, that means from the stomach, these sporozoites migrate to the salivary glands of the mosquitoes and get stored there. During bite, mosquitoes inject the sporozoites into humans and the cycle continues. Now let's look into the symptoms of malaria. Chills, headache, muscle aches and tiredness. Nausea, vomiting and diarrhea may also occur. Doctors mainly prescribe anti-malarial drugs to the patients. Let's look into the prevention methods. Treatment of an infected person is necessary. Control of mosquito population and take preventive measures for mosquito bites. Amoebiasis is caused by another protozoan called Entamoeba histolytica. House flies act as a carrier to transmit the parasite from the feces of an infected person to food and thereby contaminating them. When someone eats food or drinks water that is contaminated with the parasite, they may get the infection. It affects the large intestine of humans. Let's look into the symptoms. Constipation, abdominal pain and cramps, stool with excess mucus and blood clots, that is called dysentery. Anti-amoebic drugs are prescribed by the doctors to treat amoebic dysentery. Let's look into the prevention methods. Keep the food items covered after cooking. Boil the drinking water. Wash hands before eating and after using washrooms. Proper disposal of feces. Ascariasis is caused by a helminth called Ascaris. Helminths are worm-like parasites. Helminth means worm. Ascaris is the common roundworm. The eggs of the parasites are excreted along with the feces of an infected person and contaminate soil, water and plants. A healthy person gets infection through contaminated water, vegetables, fruits, etc. It is an intestinal parasite. That means it lives in the small intestine of humans. Internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia and blockage of intestinal passage are the symptoms of Ascariasis. Mebendazole is the drug of choice for the treatment of Ascariasis. It is an anti-helminthic drug. Treatment of an infected person, use of sanitary latrines, washing hands before eating and after using washrooms, avoid eating uncooked vegetables that are contaminated with eggs of parasites are some preventive measures of Ascariasis. Now let's discuss about Elephantiasis, or otherwise known as Filariasis. Elephantiasis is caused by another helminth called Wucheria bancrofti or filarial worm. When a mosquito bites a man, these larvae are deposited into the blood vessels. The adult filarial worm lives in the lymphatic vessels, especially the lymph nodes. The genital organs are also often affected, resulting in gross deformities. The first stage of the larvae is called microfilaria. This is the first stage of the larva. These microfilariae are found in the peripheral blood and then they are taken up by mosquitoes. Inside the mosquito, the parasite develop and get stored in the salivary glands. Let's see the symptoms. Fluid buildup in the lymphatic system, swelling and fluid buildup in genital organs are the symptoms of Elephantiasis. Treatment includes drugs that kill the adult worm. The best way to prevent filariasis is to avoid mosquito bites. Ringworm is the most common disease in humans, which is caused by fungi named Microsporum, Trichophyton and Epidermophyton. Ringworms are generally acquired from the soil or by using towels, clothes or even combs used by infected people. Heat and moisture help these fungi to grow, which makes them thrive in skin folds in groins or between the toes. Let's see the symptoms of ringworms. Dry, scaly lesions on various parts of the body, such as skin, nails, and scalp. Intense itching will be there in these lesions. Antifungal drugs, cream, or lotions are prescribed for ringworms. Let's see the prevention methods. Keep your skin clean and dry. Wear a pair of shoes that allow air to circulate freely around your feet. Clip your fingernails and toenails short and keep them clean. Change your socks and innerwears at least once a day. Now let's see what all common measures we can take to prevent the infectious diseases. Personal and public hygiene is very important in preventing these diseases. First, let's see the personal hygiene measures to prevent food and waterborne diseases. Keep body clean. Consumption of clean drinking water, food, vegetables and fruits are the personal hygiene measures. Let's see what are the public hygiene measures. Proper disposal of waste and excreta, periodic cleaning and disinfection of water reservoirs, and observe standard practices of hygiene in public catering. In cases of airborne diseases such as pneumonia and common cold, close contact with the infected person or their belongings should be avoided. For diseases such as malaria and filariasis that are transmitted through insect vectors, for example like mosquitoes, the most important measure is to control or eliminate the vectors and their breeding places. This can be achieved by avoiding stagnation of water in and around residential areas, regular cleaning of household coolers, use of mosquito nets, introducing fishes like gambusia in ponds that feed on mosquito larvae, spraying of insecticides in ditches, drainage areas and swamps. In addition, doors and windows should be provided with wire mesh to prevent the entry of mosquitoes. A lot of viral diseases can be prevented by timely vaccinations. Bacterial diseases can be prevented by taking the correct dosage of antibiotics prescribed by a doctor. Thank you. If you like this video, please share it with your friends. If you have any queries, put it in the comment box.